Hello and welcome to News Now. I am Deji Badimasi. Women and girls abducted by the Islamic group Boko Haram are forced to marry, convert and endure physical and psychological abuse and rape in captivity. And that's according to Human Rights Watch in a report it just released. Now, in a 63-page report released Monday, the rights group said at least 500 women and girls have been seized by the group since 2009 when the insurgency began. The group also added that 30 women and girls who were once prisoners of Boko Haram told its researchers how they were subjected to a variety of abuses, sometimes for refusing to convert to Islam. The organization interviewed some of the Chibok schoolgirls abducted by the group in April this year, but who later fled or were released. The students said that nearly all of those abducted from their school, located in a predominantly Christian area of Borno State, were Christian. More broadly, the majority of the abductions documented by Human Rights Watch took place in the predominantly Christian area of southern Borno State. Of the 30 victims now of abduction interviewed by Human Rights Watch, 29 actually were Christian. Most appear to have been targeted because of their religious affiliation. Many were threatened with death if they refused to convert to Islam, the report adds. According to the group, their statement suggests that the Nigerian government has failed to adequately protect women and girls from a myriad of abuses, provide them with effective support and mental health and medical care after captivity, and as well as ensure access to safe school or investigate and prosecute those responsible for the abuses. Nigeria's National Population Commission says 43% of Nigerian children under the ages of 5 legally do not exist. The reason, according to the NNPC Director of Public Affairs, Simon Otene, is that number is not registered and as such do not legally exist. The Commission says the development has greatly affected the compilation of statistics needed for national planning and development. Mr. Otene was speaking at an orientation workshop on birth registration messaging in Kaduna. He said, according to the 2013 Demographic and Health Survey, birth registration of children under 5 years in Nigeria is just 57%. He also decried the ignorance of mothers and caregivers on the importance of birth registration and obtaining of certificates. Otene said the problem is compounded by the fact that 3 in every 5 births occur at home and only 35% of births in Nigeria is delivered in health facilities. He, however, called on Nigerians, particularly mothers, to ensure that their newly born babies are registered at their birth. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Tahiru Jega, has promised to work closely with all key stakeholders in the country to address the security challenges facing the country ahead of the 2015 general elections. Jega was speaking when a delegation led by French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius and German Foreign Minister Dr. Frank Steinmeier paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. He said the Commission was already working with security agencies and it is its hope and prayer that before the 2015 general elections, tremendous success would have been attained to ensure that elections are peaceful and credible throughout Nigeria. The INEC Chairman said the Commission was taking its responsibilities to contribute towards deepening the democracy of Nigeria with all seriousness and assured of credible elections in 2015. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has warned political parties in the country against fielding presidential and vice presidential candidates belonging to the same religion, obviously referring to the All Progressives Congress, which is rumored to be considering a Muslim ticket for the 2015 presidential election. The former president said it would be insensitive for any party or leader to toy with the idea of either a Muslim ticket or a Christian ticket. The opposition APC had been rumored to be considering fielding both former head of state Muhammadu Buhari and Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola for the positions of president and vice president. Even Buhari himself recently said he was not opposed to the idea of fielding candidates of the same religious persuasions. But Obasanjo says that Nigeria is not ripe for such an idea given the deep sentiments religion evokes in Nigeria. President of the Nigerian Senate, David Mark, has purchased his form to retain his seat at the National Assembly as senator representing Benue South Senatorial District for a record fifth time, I should say. Minister of Interior Patrick Abamoro presented Mark's intent form at the State Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party in Makurdi, the state capital. Moro extolled the leadership of Mark at the National Assembly and maintained that he has effectively represented the Idoma Nation and by extension the entire Benue State. He described Mark as a nationalist, adding that he and the people of the state had given him the endorsement to run again. Mark was elected to his position as President of the Senate of Nigeria on June 6, 2007. He's been President of the Senate since then. He ran for re-election to the Senate for Benue South in April 2011 and was elected for a fourth term. Now, it's not unlikely that should he win, it's very likely, I should say, that should he win the senatorial election, he might want to run for the Senate presidency again for a third time. And should that happen and he won, it would have been actually a record in Nigeria's political history. Well, there's no question at all that should he win the election, he definitely would want to seek another shot at the Senate presidency. But we'll wait and see what happens. Now, former Akwa Ibom State governorship candidate of the defunct All Action Congress of Nigeria, actually, Senator John Udoedege, has obtained the nomination and expression of intent form to contest the governorship of Akwa Ibom State. Udoedege would be contesting the governorship of the state under the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, Udoedege, who is the first APC aspirant in the South-South zone to buy the form, warns the electorate against making wrong choices in the forthcoming elections. Speaking at the party secretariat in Uyo on Monday, shortly after obtaining the form, Udoedege criticized the present administration in the state as not having done enough to tackle poverty. He promised to bring about transformation in all sectors of the state if elected governor and called on the people to cast their votes wisely. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Silverbird Group, Ben Bruce, Monday declared his intention to represent Bayelsa East Senatorial District in the National Assembly. Bruce says if elected into the Senate, he would move to eradicate poverty by sponsoring bills to tackle the menace in the country. Another issue on the agenda of the Silverbird Group chairman is tax payment. He said it is regrettable that most wealthy Nigerians were not paying their taxes and insists that payment of taxes should be a civic responsibility of every individual, irrespective of class or status. He pledged to push for the issue to be addressed. Bruce would have to slug it out, though, with the likes of Senator Bariga Amanga, Clement Ikisiko, who are also contesting the senatorial seats as well. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll look at other stories.
The search for the next Nigerian Investigative Reporter of the Year is on. The Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, WSCIJ, requests entries for the 9th Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Reporting from Nigerian professional reporters with investigative reports published between 4th October 2013 and 3rd October 2014. Categories: print, radio, online, local government, sports, television, photography, climate change, cartoon, health, and report women. Do you fit the bill? Submit your entries by the deadline Friday, 24th October 2014 at the WSCIJ office, 55 Awolowo Way, Ikeja, Lagos. Visit www.wscij.org or call 080-2439-5083 for more details. Investigative reporting is the vital force for the restoration of human dignity.
Welcome back. Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff has been re-elected for a second term in office after winning an election held in the country Sunday. Rousseff of the Workers' Party polled 51% of the total votes, defeating centrist opposition leader Acio Neves of the Social Democratic Party, who won 48.4% of the votes cast. A former chief of staff to former President Lula da Silva, Rousseff became the country's first female president in 2011. She presided over the country's hosting of the 2014 World Cup, and she took a lot of political flack over how public money was spent. Her Workers' Party, which has been in power since 2002, will now govern for another 4-year term starting on January 1, 2015. The party credits itself for lifting about 40 million Brazilians out of poverty, reducing unemployment to a minimal rate, and fighting against hunger in what remains one of the world's most unequal countries. Meanwhile, Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan and his United States counterpart Barack Obama Monday congratulated Mrs. Rousseff on her victory. Jonathan, in a statement by his spokesperson Ruben Abati, said he was delighted at the news of Rousseff's re-election. He said Nigeria looks forward to working with her government to expand and further enhance existing relations between both countries. U.S. President Obama, in a statement, said Brazil was an important partner for the United States and the U.S. remains committed to continuing to work with President Rousseff to strengthen the bilateral relationship between the two countries. The U.S. President said he would be looking forward to meeting Rousseff for discussions to further collaboration between both countries to promote global security, prosperity, respect for human rights, and increase bilateral cooperation on education, energy, trade, and other issues of mutual interest. Nigeria's Finance Minister and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has expressed serious concerns over the continued depletion of the excess crude account in the country, lamenting that the development could lead to a heightened inflation situation in the country. Okonjo-Iweala was speaking when she appeared before the Joint Senate Committee on Finance and National Planning. The minister noted that the essence of the excess crude account was to cushion the effects of harsh economic climate on the citizenry, but lamented that constant pressures and challenges faced by the country in recent times had forced the finance sector to divert part of the funds to be shared among the three tiers of government, hence the current cash crunch being experienced in the country. She, however, maintained that the nation's economy at the present time was reasonably stable compared to other countries, but added that some actions had to be taken in order to maintain the stability of the economy. To sports now, FIFA has again threatened to land its sledgehammer on Nigeria. The World Football Governing Body has given the country Monday as deadline to resolve the crisis within the Nigerian Football Federation or face a suspension from international football. Despite FIFA forbidding that football matters be taken to a civil court, a federal high court in Jos Plateau State Thursday nullified the September 30th general election of the Nigerian Football Federation, which actually saw Delta FA Chairman Amaju Pinnick elected as the president of the body. A faction of the NFF had filed a suit against the association in court, and the presiding justice Ambrose Alagwa had ruled that the election that saw Amaju Pinnick emerge as president was illegal. Chris Giwa, whom FIFA did not recognize as president, has since resumed as president of the NFF. The World Football Governing Body, which is obviously not pleased with ongoing controversy in the NFF, has warned that should Nigeria get suspended, it will not revisit the matter until their 65th Congress on May 29, 2015. Meanwhile, there are reports that Chris Giwa has even inaugurated 4 committees to work with him as NFF president. Well, let's wait and see if that hammer falls on us. Now, President Issa Hayatou, that's the CAF president, I should say, of Africa's soccer governing body CAF, Monday expressed shock over the death of Orlando Pirates player Senzo Robert Meyiwa, who was also the South African national team goalkeeper. In a letter to SAFA President Daniel Jordan, quoted by CAF's official website, Hayatou sends its condolences, describing Meyiwa's death as a great tragedy for South African and African football. Jordan said Meyiwa was one of the most promising South African players who took great pride and responsibility in his role as captain of both the national team and his club, Orlando Pirates. Meanwhile, no arrest has been made yet over his killing. Well, we pray that the gentle soul of this very wonderful footballer rest in peace. It's quite sad. I mean, he had to die the way he did. That's it on News Now. We thank you for watching. We're back again shortly.